Hello everyone, this is Zagany333. And today I thought I would keep up with the trend, with the last video, by continuing on with another Resident Evil film. This being like the first of the CG animated movies I was talking about last time, which is Resident Evil Degeneration. Which I remember when this came out, I was pretty fucking excited for it. And I kind of had a hunch that this might be kind of what I was looking for in terms of something that lived up to the story, the feel, the atmosphere, everything that the games kind of provided. And at least for me, like I mentioned last time, and like I'm going to say here, I feel like these set of films, this one, Vendetta, and Damnation, and there's, I think, another new one that's come out that I have not seen yet. I feel like those ones live up to the tale that Resident Evil's trying to tell. But let's get into this fucking movie, shall we? It is from 2008. It is rated R. It is 1 hour and 37 fucking minutes, and it is action horror. And I guess I'll put some trivia things here first. This was, I think the first film that was Capcom created, which kind of lends itself to something I've been saying for years, which is when it comes to any kind of creative idea or property or whatever, the original creators are usually the best at coming up with adaptations of it, whether it be this film or anything like that. They're usually the ones that end up, keeping things how they should be, story-wise and stuff. But what's interesting about this movie is it actually takes place between Resident Evil 4 and 5. And another thing is, well, let me see here. Trying to keep my fucking notes together. But yeah, I guess I'll just get into the synopsis, or the story of this. Pretty much, it's after the fall of Umbrella because, well, I should probably say spoilers for anyone who's in the older games or anything like that. Sorry, there's spoilers here for anyone who hasn't played the series. But pretty much around the time of Resident Evil 4, the Umbrella Corporation falls. And so that's where this kind of picks up, is Claire Redfield is at an airport. And pretty much things go wrong. There is not really a hijacking, but there's a sort of kind of terrorist threat, and it pretty much causes an outbreak at this airport. And that's pretty much the story. It gets more in-depth than that, but I'll just leave it there. And we get, some characters that we love and everything else. But that's what I put here, is that it lives up to the story, the characters, the atmosphere, the tone, and the horror of the games, while also providing some of the action as well. And that's, unlike the movies, the live-action ones, this gives a good mix of all those things. And like I also mentioned, it takes place after the fall of Umbrella, which is after Resident Evil 4, and has a good mix of survival horror with action. And another thing that's really cool about this film is it actually does a decent job with new characters that it introduces as well. It gives them a pretty good story that ties them into kind of the overarching storyline, So it keeps everything pretty well there. And that's pretty much everything that I kind of have to say. And I thought I would give some extra, I guess, kind of thoughts here. My rating for this, because I might not even get into spoilers at all. My rating for this I thought was somewhere between 7 or 7.5. I thought it was a really cool, decent film. And a good kind of introductory one to these CG animated movies. One kind of negative I did feel like, I crossed it out there, but I guess I'll mention, is I do feel like some of the animations when it comes to characters early on in the movie are kind of stiff, but I think that's due to the era, it being in 2008 and everything. So there is that, but it's kind of a minor gripe, a minor kind of detail, and seems to kind of work itself out of there, as well as, in later films. I don't believe that's something that's a problem. But yeah, handled pretty well, same voice actors for the main characters and stuff. But here's the other thought that I had, and I thought I was going to give some thoughts on why I think Resident Evil has outlasted a lot of other, when it comes to horror, gaming, and anything like that, kind of any franchise. And I think it is because Capcom has done such a damn good job at being able to adapt and change the story, but only in the right ways. Whereas, other companies, whenever they try to change the story or something, there tends to be either a misstep or something else that's kind of gone wrong there. Whereas when it comes to Resident Evil, it seems like they're always trying new things, new ideas, but they always kind of keep and retain what makes the series kind of special. And for instance, one thing I'll mention is one game that I didn't really like because it was too action focused was Resident Evil 5. For me, that's kind of one of the lesser games that I personally prefer in the series. It's still a good one though. But that's what I'm saying is, like, you know, after that one, they kind of brought it back a bit with 6 bringing back some of the atmosphere and the feel like the older games have. And even in the newer ones, which I sadly haven't fully played, but I've played demos of and seen things for when it comes to Resident Evil 7 and all that. Yeah, like I said, they always change things up, but they always seem to do it in the right ways. They don't ever stray too far, but even if they do, they're always managing to keep the horror there and keep it how it should be. Whereas, you know, other companies seem to kind of, I don't know, they just don't really seem to handle it as well as Resident Evil. So that's why I think Resident Evil has lasted for as long as it has. Because they always come up with great ideas and they always execute everything very well. But that's pretty much all I've got to say today. A pretty short video. There's just not many spoilers I really need to touch on with this movie other than it's a cool, awesome, decent movie. And if you're a fan of Resident Evil, I feel like this will live up to what you're looking for. But I hope that you all have an amazing, bad fucking ass, wonderful, awesome day. And I will see you guys in the next movie review. This is Agony333 signing the fuck out. Peace. Have a great one.